Hey there. No, that was weird. Good morning, YouTube fam. Yeah, it's 8:36 in the morning, and we's about to get on that level. We's about to get it. We's about to, now it's 8:37. See, we're already, time's just flying in this arena. But yeah, if this is your first time seeing me, what up? My name's Kimberly Ponce. Thanks for joining. We're going to be talking about really awesome stuff today. And I mean really awesome stuff. Because it's like, I'm just excited, and it's just awesome, and it makes sense, and it's powerful. And good morning. ASMR. Okay. We're going to be discussing the playbook today. I'm going to be exposing. Yeah, listen in. Turn your volume up and stick around for the whole video. This is powerful, you guys. This is something juicy. It really is juicy. So without further ado, the title of this video is Exposing the Enemy's Playbook. So I've just been doing some thinking, and basically it has come to into my sphere of awareness that basically every distraction or every form of attack from the enemy is essentially like when you see a milepost, when you're like, say you're road tripping and you see like a milepost, and every single time that you like something annoying from the enemies like coming around trying to just be a transgression and take you further away from God, that's actually, I want you to think of it, I encourage everyone to think of it instead of as like a pest or as a hindrance or as an impediment to getting closer to God, which like that's the illusion of what it is, but really, and if we like let it, then it is that. But what we must see it as is like a confirmation that you is poppin', because otherwise they wouldn't be attacking so hard or they wouldn't be monitoring so hard. So let's talk about 5 ways that the enemy like will like attack, and it's I don't know if like 1 through 5 is like the order it goes in, but like these are definitely some ways. So I know for me, for a fact, I have a lot of eyes on me, so I'm gonna start off with monitoring, and that's like, yeah, the ultimate way that most people will try and get information from you. And I want to try and keep it to 20 minutes today, but I know I have like a lot to say. We might make it 2 videos, because I have like my personal opinion on stuff, and then like I'm kind of long-winded sometimes, but I try and keep it to like 20 minutes because, nobody has time for like, I don't know, like I don't want to spend, like I want to be succinct, and like respect your guys' time too. Like maybe you're on a lunch break and 20 minutes is all you can, like something like that. So monitoring is that's like the first way that the enemy will use that as a form of attack or as a way to annoy you or harass you. But keep in mind too that if you have a relationship with Jesus, he's also monitoring you, and he's monitoring them monitoring you. So there's nothing to be afraid of. You like praise and speak and like pray and say God's name, Jesus' mighty name, and pray for like any satanic mirror to be destroyed in Jesus' mighty name. Like prayer like that will make the enemies scatter, because that's just what happens. Like that's how powerful Jesus is. And another point that I have too is that because, and I'll try not to speak so fast, but I have a lot to say. I've been getting like better sleep recently. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, like, because I don't like being like confused and dazed and like brain fog and like irritable. Like I want to be feeling as best as I can be, like, because why not? It's rainy here in New York. Ugh. It's a good vibe. So, it's a good vibe. It's not bad. It's not bad. Satan and others will employ monitoring spirits to come watch you. And why is this? Because it's a form of oppression, yes, but it's also a way to receive information. But the point that I wanted to make just now is that when we see the attacks coming from the enemy, are they direct? Are they like presenting themselves like in the way that God would speak? No, because Satan is not anywhere near as powerful as Jesus and God. So Satan has to manifest in the forms of these 5 attacks. So it can be, so we started off with monitoring, but I'm just going to go ahead and list the other 4. So like monitoring, and then it can be obviously like distraction, which we all know, like we are all aware of this. Like it's a very, like I feel like the YouTube chosen channel world is speaking a lot about distractions and how that's a form that the enemy will, like everything's a distraction really if you think about it, because like we're supposed to keep like our focus on God and like giving off like light and love and compassion, etc. So it'll be in the form of a distraction. What does that entail exactly? It could be a disruption, like a legitimate like remember when I was filming and the entire table that I was sitting on like collapsed right from underneath me? That's like a disruption. Like that was meant to like discombobulate me and like get me off track and like make me lose my train of thought. That's like a big thing. Like so it'll be like the form of a distraction. Anything just to like kind of push you off the lane when you're just running in the lane and you like have the baton and you're like, I'm staying focused, and say the baton is like the Bible, and like you're like, I'm in lane 2. Lane 2 is mine. And then like as soon as you okay, I'm getting excited, but have you ever noticed that as soon as you start focusing, as soon as you start hunkering down and your blinders go on, like your horse blinders, like, and you're so focused on what the project it is that you're working on, have you ever noticed that's when everyone starts to call you? Have you ever noticed that's when, as soon as you start like legitimately getting like really interested in the subject and you feel your vibrations start to raise, have you noticed the exact second that you start to feel that, that's also the exact same moment that like people start knocking on the door? Or you like people blow up your phone, or there's just distractions outside, or there's perfect, like this exactly. And this is I wouldn't necessarily say that's a bad distraction, because I like loud Jamaican music, and that's also why I love the Bronx. But I'm saying too that there will be other forms, like distraction can be in the form of noise, or it can be in the form of disruption. So we have monitoring, like that's how like the enemy will usually definitely always attack. If you is popping enough, you're gonna be watched. And like it's just confirmation, just like anytime you, like any annoying little thing that's like supposed to annoy you and get you aggravated and get you out of character, just baby please see it as a milepost. You're road tripping and you're on your way to heaven, and you're following the righteous and narrow path, and you're just driving along, and then you keep like getting like these attacks of many different forms, but just see it as a milepost. You're getting closer and closer and closer to your destination, and this is a temporary timeline on this temporary earth. You know what I'm saying? And then we have 3. This one's a big one. Addiction. And, you know, this is something that will cover our ears and make us unable to hear God's voice, because we're shackled down in chains and bondage. And that's what the devil, like, that's where he relishes that. He's like, where they can't hear God's voice, like, and then they think that they need this substance in order to function, and if they don't have this substance, they become an enemy of their own mind, because it's a mood destabilizer to not have this substance. But you can also be addicted to, you can be addicted to anything. I really feel like addiction is like, the Achilles heel of the human tendency, because it's like there's moderation, and then there's like over extreme, and then there's under extreme. So it's like you have to like spending money, eating food, watching really like weird shows that are like aren't good for you, and you like get bad dreams or something, and like you can't stop watching it. It's like the spirit of like lack of self-control, I feel like, is what is feeding into addiction. So that's I mean, that's a huge one. Like, I mean, how many lives are lost each year to, you know, God forbid, like drunk driving and stuff. Like, so there's just, you know, it's sad how addiction takes a lot of lives. Or somebody who, you know, I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's kind of a bummer, addiction. And I'm also like a little convicted right now because I'm still struggling with cannabis, but I'm getting better. I'm just like convicted, but I know I have to speak about it, and I know that I also don't want to be a hypocrite myself, but it's like, God, life is hard, and sometimes it's like, just need this thing, you know, but I'm working on it, and, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm really not perfect, but that's why I try and do these, like, videos every day, too. So, I know that the less that I, you know, for example, lean on cannabis, the more I'm gonna, like, want to, be in the Word and want to hear like God's voice immediately, like rather than like wake up and be like, what day is it? Like, and just be like discombobulated and like kind of like have the mindset of like a fiend or something. Like, that's like so not fun, and like it costs money to like keep an addiction too. So it's like, it's a whole thing. Like, it's about self-control, and we just have to make sure that it's not. I think everyone has to have like a little bit of a coping mechanism, as long as you can like still get done what you need to get done for the day, and you're still paying your bills and following through on your commitments and goals. Then I guess to each person their own, and may no one be shamed or judged for how they cope with the pain that they go through, that another person will never know or have the slightest idea of the experience that other person has gone through, so that they may understand why addiction is a role in their life at this time. Like, we're never going to understand that. So to each their own, and I guess everything in moderation. You know, I'm so convicted on this spirit because on the subject, but that's why I'm talking about it. So I have to work on that. I'm just being real, you know. I think for the most part, like, I'm okay. I just don't want to need something, you know. But I do feel like there are medicinal benefits. I don't know, because like I get really nauseous sometimes, but it's fine. I just like don't want to need something, and like that's the level I'm getting at. But then we also have the ego. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the fourth thing. The ego is something that the enemy will use. Oh my gosh. See what I'm talking about? It's like distractions and stuff in the morning, a noise. But I'm not gonna let it get to me. I'm not. But like the enemy will use even your own ego to keep you from following what God wants you to do and God's instructions, and that'll be something that will like hinder your progress in your relationship with God. Is like the enemy will feed your mind ideas about how self-importance like takes paramount priority over everything else, and therefore your hurt feelings, and i.e. the spirit of offense, comes into play, and then you start to defend yourself, and you realize that, you know, you just took it personally, or your ego is wounded or bruised, and that's why all of a sudden taking revenge into your own hands is the utmost importance, and it must happen immediately, because who dare talk to me like that, or who dare do me that dirty? I'm gonna show them that I can't. Like, that's all the ego, and the enemy and Satan will egg you on in that way, and like get you all riled up, and your feathers are already ruffled, but then like the ego will be like puff your chest up, and like it'll be like, this is what matters most. How dare anyone like tarnish like the perfect like exterior persona that I have perfectly polished for the world to see. Like, who dare poke a hole in that? And like, that's like the ego, and the enemy loves when we're blinded by our own ego so that we don't follow God's instruction. But that's something that we have to pray against, because we really need to lower ourselves and ask God to raise himself up in our hearts, and ask him to come out of like the spirit of the Holy Spirit to seep out of every single pore of our body, and that we like are a light on a hill that cannot be hidden. That type of like, so we want to like ask God to come live in our hearts, and that we everything that we do and say pleases him. So that's the ego, and that's a tricky one, because you think that you're in control, but really it's like your mind is being fed that that's what's most important. So just keep that in mind, that the ego will all of a sudden become paramount, and then just be mindful of like, oh, okay, I'm aware now that like I'm like thinking a little bit too much about how my like self-esteem has been wounded from this, and then you kind of feel like a need to reciprocate or to kind of like make amends for what has occurred. Because your own ego has been bruised. But like the best way to handle that is to take it to God and say, it's not about me, I'm just a vessel, and may you remove the spirit of offense from me in Jesus' mighty name. Things like that. Like, these things can be dealt with. And then let's see. Oh yeah, and then the fourth one is criticism or ridicule. So other people can come along. Say you was driving and you're in the fast lane and you see the milepost, and it's like a bunch of attacks, but we see it as mileposts because it's a confirmation, it's progress, it's okay, cool, I'm getting closer and closer. Like, the stronger you're getting attacked means like that's how close you are. You like with the key to put it in the door and unlock it and open a brand new door of opportunities. But like there's a bunch of steps that are like jagged, and like it's hard to like get up to the door, but you have the key, and then like all of a sudden like there's a bunch of winds as you're like trying to get up to the door, and it's like these are all manifestations of how close you are to your, say, breakthrough or your next destination, or even just following the narrow and righteous path, because you can even be attacked for doing all the right things. So that's why being a Christian is not for the faint of heart, and if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. So with all that said, I just want to thank y'all for being here. Thank you very much. So be aware of others ridiculing, or is that a word? Ridicule? Yeah, it is. And criticizing you while you're like in the midst of your pursuit. And that is meant to just knock you down a couple of pegs and make you overthink or gaslight you, or to I have so many examples of people being haters. It's like funny, but it's like, it's funny in hindsight, but in the moment you're like, what is your issue? Like, I'm sorry, I'm awesome. Like, don't hate because you ain't, brah. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, my mom birthed me. Your mom birthed you. Like, I am me. Like, I'm smiling. Yes, I'm smiling. Are you okay? Do you not want me to smile? You want me to be miserable with you? You want me to think that I have no chance of like reaching my dreams just because you never had the bravery to like go out and do it? Like, I'm sorry I did what I said I would do, but then again, I'm not at all. So your problem. Yeah. But it's like but I'm not even going to get lost in the minutiae of details, because like most of my life has been ridicule and criticism and other people hating and being mad, jealous, and create like little remarks here and there. Like, I'm so used to it at this point where I'm like, I want you to immediately dislike me. I am more comfortable with people disliking me rather than like fake friendly and then trying to be a hater later on, but they have to like bring you in and conjure you with this like friendly face. They're like, yes, like, yeah. And you're like, oh, thanks. And then they're like, but did you know that like there's like a likely chance that like if you continue doing this, then like you're just like, you're like, and then you're like, oh, and they're like, so they'll say things like, they'll notice like the tiniest little things and point it out, and it's just hater comments. Like, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. it's an energy. It's a shift. It's like you can feel it. Like what they're saying might not sound that bad, but you know, like there's something off, and it's like because they're like jelly, brah. So like you just like gotta get away from those people, and then just keep doing you, and pray for them, because eventually they're gonna look up to you and be like, wow, they really persisted despite how many times I tried to knock them down or drag them like, you know, down with me. They really like surpassed all that, like, and then they like start to feel embarrassed, and then they start to feel weak because they realize their attempts like didn't do, and like then that's when they like really start to get bitter and resentful towards you. So you just gotta know that what you're doing is right, and all good things work according to those who work for his good, and you just gotta keep your head held high, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we also have I think the fifth one now is a trigger. So that's what will happen too, is like you're going along, you're having a great day, but then like literally a very emotional trigger presents itself in some form or another, and like it's very hard. Like for example, Monday morning I woke up from a nightmare, and that almost like stopped everything from this week happening. That was crazy, but I handled it with help. So be aware too that if like you're like in very high vibes, like that is also, it's like so annoying because you're like, man, can I just like have 5 minutes of smiling without like somebody coming out of the woodworks and like glaring at me like, why is she so happy? And it's like, I literally like when I go and hang out in nature and then I come back up onto the street, everybody is like, I swear, dude, people can like feel the positive energy, and then they just like glare or stare, and then I just like smile at them, and then they like still have like a stink face going on, and then I'm just like, and then I like look away for a little bit and I like giggle to myself. I'm like, wow, that's some low vibration right there. And then like I look again and I smile even bigger, and they're like don't know. I don't know. I honestly, I'm at the point in life where I get a kick out of other people trying to bring me down, because it's not gonna happen. Do you know how? I'm like, who are you? Like, do you know who like I've dealt with in the past? I've dealt with some monsters. This is patty cake, bro. You're gonna have to turn up a notch, like 5,000, in order to even deter me or scare me or make me think that I'm not, like capable of pursuing my dreams. Like, you're gonna have to do some really dirty, wicked shit, because I've dealt with monsters down in the sewers before, and this is this is strawberry shortcake, baby. Like, let's go. Is this the best you got? You know? Okay, I'm having fun this morning, but that's basically the video. So just be aware that the enemy isn't strong enough or powerful enough, like anywhere near God at all, to present miracles the way God can, and bring provision to your doorstep the way God can, or bring a person who says just the right thing at just the right time the way God can. So the enemy has to manifest himself in indirect, passive attacks, such as monitoring. Like, that's really pathetic. That's a really like pathetic way to attack somebody, is like spying on them. Bruh. Like, they just need information, and they're like, they have no life, so they like spy on you all the time. Like, that's pathetic. Okay, so that's number one. And then two, it will be like in the form of a distraction, disruption, or a noise, like noisiness, any type of noise, like, yeah, like anything that disrupts or distracts you from what you're trying to focus on. And then two, addiction. No, three, addiction. 4, the enemy will use the ego. I guess I have 6. Okay, I have 6. That's fine. We'll use your own ego against you and keep you from hearing God's voice. And then the 5th is like other people, like, because the enemy can like use other people to criticize you, and like that's usually what he does, like close friends and family members. And also to get information, because he's not omniscient the way God is. So God can hear our thoughts. God can hear your enemy's thoughts. And yeah, I think this is going to be 2 videos because I didn't even get to Bible verses. But that's fine. I'm like stoked. I am like very, very stoked. Yeah, it's fine. It's gonna be 2 videos. It's cool. I'm cool with it. And ridicule and criticism against you, to just knock you down a couple of pegs, discourage you, get you to just anything to get your mind off what it is you're like seriously trying to like focus on. And then the 6th is a trigger. So he'll use something from your past that's very emotionally, it's very upsetting to experience. Maybe it's a smell, maybe it's a memory, maybe it's a song, maybe it's an article of clothing that brings up bad memories. It could be anything, but the devil is so like annoying about like getting us like all ruffled feathers in the moment where we're trying to focus the most, because he's like such a lame, pathetic loser that he like has to go below the belt almost every single day just to get people to like try and side with him, whereas God is just here to give life and give it abundantly, and the enemy is here to steal, kill, and destroy. So those are 5 to 6 things that the enemy will use as a way to manifest. That's how he will manifest in all those ways to distract you and tempt you into transgressions, anything leading you away from the narrow path, walking with God. Okay, cool. So that is the vid. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. And we'll go over more of the Bible verses, maybe later today or tomorrow. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good today, so we'll see how things go. But point is, stay tuned for more awesome content. I love you guys. Hope you have a really wonderful morning, and then like a beautiful lunch, and then like a beautiful evening, like whatever it is today that you need to do that you don't want to do. I pray that in Jesus' mighty name it suddenly becomes a meaningful and like really fulfilling pursuit for you, and it fills you with joy and peace. I love you guys. I really do. Coming from here. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay chosen. Peace.